I knew it was possible that I could end up in Arizona, but coming into the draft, I really had no idea where I was going to end up going. So now that I know, I'm beyond excited and can't wait.
Hey, Isaiah, Craig Fouye with ABC 15 here in Phoenix. Welcome to the Cardinals. You had mentioned earlier this week or last week that you felt like you were the best defensive player in the draft. What do you bring to the Arizona Cardinals?
I bring a lot of versatility. A guy that's not narrowed down to one position, and I could be used in many ways to help the defense in any possible way. So if I need to play safety 1 week or linebacker 1 week or need me draft passer, I can get all that done.
Hey, Isaiah, congrats on being picked. Steve Keim was just telling us about how you weren't heavily recruited, a five-star guy coming out of high school. Can you just look back and tell us how you're feeling when you remember your high school days and your growth all the way up to this point and now being drafted?
Yeah, so in high school, with the offers I had, I always felt like, that I could do better. I had 16 offers, but I just felt like I was good enough to play at some of the schools that were like, the football powerhouses. And Clemson ended up coming and offering me a month before signing day. And, I went there, visited there, fell in love with them. And, ever since then, it's been history. So.
Next three, please. We'll take Kyle Odegaard, Josh Weinfuss, Darren Urban.
Hey, Isaiah, wondering if when they didn't have the draft, if you were kind of bummed that you couldn't go attend it, and then how it ended up being at home with your family.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed, just because I wanted to walk across the stage, but this still is a life-changing moment, something I've always dreamt of. So I'm really, really excited about it, regardless if I was in Vegas or not. So it's nice to just enjoy this time with my family.
Hey, Isaiah, Josh Weinfuss with ESPN. Steve Keim called you a player eraser. Where did that versatility come from? You played quite a few positions last year and quite a few snaps at those positions. So where did that come from? How did you develop that versatility?
Yeah, so honestly, week to week, we were kind of experimenting with where I would play. So I would always have something new I would have to learn each and every week. And Coach Venables, he just had a lot of faith in me, a lot of trust in me, and he was just able to utilize me in many different places.
Isaiah, Darren Urban from azcardinals.com. At the Combine, when you were talking to the media, you made a pretty passionate explanation of how you didn't see yourself necessarily as a linebacker, but you play defense. And when people kind of question the different places you play, you made a very strong point that that's a strength and it shouldn't be seen as a weakness. Just does it bother you that people kind of wonder that because you don't have necessarily one spot that somehow that makes it a weakness?
I don't really consider it a weakness. Worked pretty well at Clemson, so I don't, some people have their own perspectives on it, but I honestly feel like it's a strength just because it creates so much deception in the defense.
Next three, how about Tressa Tudrick, Colin Harmon, and Catherine Fitzgerald, please?
Isaiah, welcome to Arizona. Congratulations. My two questions for you are, one, how do you plan on celebrating being at home? And two, what can Cardinals fans expect for you to bring to the table?
Celebrating at home, it's kind of weird. It's only just a couple of us. So when I'm done with all these interviews, I'm going to just get with them, watch the rest of the draft, see where some of my buddies fall. But, we're all just really excited, and it's not really much we could do but enjoy each other's company. So that's pretty much how that night will go. And to the Cardinals, as good as I may be on the field, I feel like I'm an even better person in the community. So somebody that's going to impact the community as well as the team.
Hey, Isaiah, Colin Harmon, ABC 15 Sports. Steve Keim had said that with a player that kind of has the versatility that you do, there needs to be a plan in place for you to be successful. What was Clemson's plan for you to allow you to do what you did?
Honestly, it just all came with a lot of trust. Like I said, the plan each week was pretty experimental. We weren't quite sure if it was going to work or not, and it happened to work week in and week out. But you know, it was like I said, it was experimental, but everything always worked out well.
Hey, Isaiah, Catherine Fitzgerald from the Republic. Since this off season is just so different for everyone as far as like, not being in person for so long and everything being a bit up in the air, how do you think that can impact with your versatility trying to learn multiple positions, remotely?
It's a little different, but I feel like I'm really good at learning football, so I don't think that I'll have any issues with it. But the in-person is always good, but knowing that it'll be virtually, it'll be fine.
Just wanted to ask, the Cardinals pulled off arguably the biggest trade of the free agency with DeAndre Hopkins, and here you are, another Clemson product there. Just what's your relationship like with him, if you have one, and kind of what you think about kind of joining forces with him?
Hello?
Yeah, Isaiah, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say, DeAndre Hopkins, obviously was one of the biggest moves of this offseason, going to the Cardinals, fellow Clemson product. Just wondering if you had a relationship with him, if he's reached out at all, and what do you think about kind of meeting up there in Arizona with him?
We don't really have a big relationship, but I look forward to building one with him. It's always great to be around Clemson family. Seem to find them any and everywhere I go, regardless if it's alumni or in this case a former player. So I'm really excited to be one of his teammates and take the team to the Super Bowl.
Hey, Isaiah, what do you think about the prospects of playing with the likes of Chandler Jones, Patrick Peterson, and the second part to that is you're probably going to have to guard George Kittle at least twice a year every year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, playing with those kind of players it's really crazy because I've been playing with them on Madden for a really long time, so I'm now their teammate. So that's pretty crazy. I can't wait to just learn from them and just soak in everything that they have to teach me and everything that they do, just in the everyday life of being them, because they're all great players. And, having to guard a guy like George is a huge challenge. And I did opportunity, just go against an amazing tight end like him, well-respected guy in the league. Like I said, I'm just really excited just for the opportunity. Yes.
Bob McManaman, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can now.
Yeah, I was asking about those guys. Thanks for jumping in for me, Chase. In terms of we've been talking to you about positions. Would you rather be established at one or the other and then move about during games or week to week?
To my understanding, I'm sure it'll move around, week to week, but everything always just depends on the team you're playing and the scheme of the game plan. So I'm not really opposed to honing in on one position and mastering that, but I'm also very, very open to being able to move around and play a similar role I did in Clemson.
Okay, next we'll go Josh Weinfuss, followed by Charlie, followed by Cam Cox.
Do you feel like you have a natural position? And if not, is there one position you feel more comfortable at than the others?
No, I'm really comfortable everywhere. I didn't really have options to. I couldn't be uncomfortable rushing a passer or uncomfortable, guarding a tight end or playing middle of the field. So I'm really, really comfortable everywhere, honestly. So it's not really anywhere that I worry about more than another.
Hey Isaiah, this is Charlie Apostol with Fox 10 Sports. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Arizona. I know you mentioned earlier that when somebody drafts you, they're not drafting just 53 guys, right? They're drafting 56. I was wondering if you could expound on that. I'm guessing it's based on your versatility. And B, what's your goal coming to Arizona playing with this defensive squad you're joining with?
Yeah, really excited first off, but my first goal would just be to be an immediate impact and just gain respect from the guys in the locker room.
Arizona, two-part. Isaiah, welcome to Arizona. Two-part question for you. The first part, the Cardinals obviously need some help covering tight ends. Can you speak specifically what makes you so good at covering tight ends? And then the second part, I saw you retweeted a post about a nickname you had growing up where they called you Simmons. How did you shake that nickname? Because now everywhere I read, they mention the word freak with you.
Yeah, so when it comes to covering tight ends, I think the biggest thing is the guys that can actually cover the tight ends don't have the size, and the guys that do have the size don't have the coverage skills. So I feel like I have a pretty good mixture of both, to where I may be a little more apt to cover them than some other people may be. But the name Simmons, that was something that my high school football coach called me, and I ended up gaining some grown man weight, and I lost that name quickly. So, it was just something that he just reminded me of how skinny I was my freshman year.
Catherine Fitzgerald, I see your hand raised.
Hey, Isaiah, Catherine again. Given your flexibility and versatility, did you have players that you modeled your game after when you were growing up?
Yeah, like the former Cardinal, Tyrann Mathieu, his versatility that he has within his game, as well as Derwin James. We kind of played similar roles. So I definitely would say I modeled many parts of my game after those two.